You are now listening to Out of the Blank.
Welcome to another episode of Out of the Blank podcast. I'm here with, now it's Graham Wheatcroft.
Yep, that's right.
How do you not live a farmer's lifestyle with that last name?
Oh, well, here in the UK, you've got farms everywhere. So it's kind of a giving around here.
So tell me a little bit about yourself and what do you do professionally?
So I'm Graham Wheatcroft. I've lived in Yorkshire all my life, and professionally, I run a lifestyle coaching business called the Resilient Lifestyle. And what this basically is everything starts in the grounds of fitness. I see that as like a foundation for coaching people, and then we build on working on people's mindsets and also how that can feed into people's relationships and what they do professionally to get better with everything.
Yeah, I mean, building up resilience, like how everybody in the UK drives on the wrong side of the road. Like, come on.
Well, truly, yeah. Like the thing is, Well, I don't know. I wouldn't say we drive on the wrong side. I say you guys.
Exactly. Every time I podcast with someone from the UK, I always bring that up, and they go, "No, you drive on the wrong side of the road."
And you've got your steering wheel on the wrong side of the car.
Dude, I've actually sat in a car with the steering wheel on, I guess, what you guys would use for your steering wheel on your side. I was completely like, oh my goodness, like I don't know what's happening. This is supposed to be the driver's seat. And they're like, no, it's on the other side. I'm like, oh.
It's funny because my dream car is an American Ford Mustang. And fortunately, they've got the UK equivalent over here. So, I won't have to buy an American one and get the steering wheel converted onto the other side, which is good.
So when you're doing this, you said you have this management. You're so what do you do professionally? I guess, like, how would you describe it to someone else?
Initially, it's personal training, but it's a more personalized experience. I'm not based in a gym. It's a private studio, what I'm actually helping people do is relieve the levels of stress. People often tell me that they come to work with me and they feel a lot lighter. They feel like they can do anything. So it's increasing confidence through fitness, whether that's again in the studio or even online, because I do have a couple of clients over in the States.
So not even just physical, just kind of motivational as well.
Yeah. There's it can sound like a strange crossover, but the actual training, I suppose, the physical side, I class it as a physical meditation. So where I have someone lifting the weights, and we don't just, there's this thing called a dragon lift that we do, where you curl the weight to the shoulder and lift it above the head, back down to shoulder and back down to the thigh. We won't just do 10 of those. We'll literally do anywhere between, 100 to warm up, or if we're feeling hardcore, you might go on to 500 plus of these lifts. And that's something that as you're lifting, you're breathing, you don't focus on anything else. It's a core move that just completely distracts people from daily life, really. And by people achieving those sorts of numbers, it does become, like say, very motivational. People, if I tell them, if I tell people at the start of the session they're going to do something like that, I think I'm crazy. But that's why I don't tell them until the end.
You're talking to a fellow advocate of physical fitness here.
Oh, wonderful stuff. Wonderful.
I've been working out for every day, almost going on 7 years now. And like I go on Christmas, all that. And I love it, man. It's a giant stress relief. I think a lot of people don't understand that sometimes when you're feeling bad, when you're feeling, down, it can be physical fitness can be a cure.
Yes.
Going to the gym, I don't feel any more I guess, closer to anything than when I grab a weight and I'm able to lift it and truly just be in my own head for a little while. And it's like like it helps me get so calm. I feel like afterwards, like my cortisol levels are pretty high, so I'm pretty leveled in thinking. I have no fucking anger at all. I mean, someone cuts me off while I'm driving. I'm just like, whatever, man. Like I'm already at level 0. I feel like more people need to get that type of stress relief or something out of their life, especially when you come across so many people that are just so angry towards one another.
Yeah, that's it. Like that's a really important point you've highlighted there. That we all carry various emotions, whether it be anger, whether it be frustration or whatever it might be, and people don't often know where to channel that energy. And if they're not doing anything physical, it can be out to other people. But as you said yourself, because you've taken that daily commitment really to doing something with your fitness, you tend to be a lot calmer. And I don't think people realize that benefit, because that's the impact of fitness on your mindset, as I see it. And I do see the whole fitness mindset, the meditation, it's all part of one whole unit of it's one whole package really.
Well, your body's like a lock, okay? But there's two keys that can open that lock. One is mental and one is physical.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Those coincide, and you can consider the lock being kind of like a spiritual aspect. Because to really have a leveled mind, you need to have kind of really a balance between both. You know, you can be mentally smart as much as possible, but if your body's like crap, you're going to feel like crap.
Exactly.
Your body could be in physical fit condition, but if you're not emotionally right, mentally right, you're basically down the whole day.
Yeah, well, that's it. Like one thing I encourage a lot of my clients to do is a morning routine, and whether it's as simple as get up in the morning, 10 minutes of some kind of physical exercise, 10 minutes of breath work and breathing, learn something, read a book. It might be something professional or just something so that they're gaining some knowledge, making a green smoothie every day. And then with that as well, sharing up something positive for the family as well. Like I'm getting married in 2 weeks' time. And one thing I've done for the last 2 years with my fiance is wrote her and sent her videos and stuff of appreciation. So love, honor, and appreciation every single day for the last couple of years now. I've done over 300 of these. And that's all part of changing how people think. Like, I'll be honest, I'll put it out there that there's a program called Wake Up Warrior, which kind of got me onto that train of thought. And there's elements of that I brought into my own business. But yeah, I think you've got to look after your physical fitness. You've got to look after your mindset. You've got to get into routines and great habits, because if you haven't got these great habits, that's where your body goes downhill. You won't operate as well in whatever you're doing professionally. You won't do things as great as you could do around your family if your body's sluggish. So that's a key thing that I like to talk to people about.
Usually a lot of people, especially that do some type of personal training or coaching or fitness aspect, or even a mental aspect of it too, just overall wellness when it comes to like Reiki energy healing, have been through a major detriment themselves. They've went through tough times, which makes it relatable, which makes it more understanding. It's very hard to hear a person who's never experienced anything bad talk about how it's easy to overcome things, because they've never seen anything themselves. But you're seeing more people nowadays, they're now suffering from more like depression hitting people at younger ages, anxiety hitting people at younger ages, just because we're turned off and disconnected from people around us. There's an energy I believe everyone gives off, and a lot of times it feels like when you walk into the store, most people's energy is pretty bad. They might not show it on their face, so it's really hard to tell, but there's definitely like a feeling about them. Like, why did this person just scream at this person in the middle of the store because they didn't get deal they wanted. It's like you have to kind of keep everything in mind, which helped me really when I started researching a little bit more into psychology and going to school for it. I was understanding that the brain is a very, very complicated thing, and people are different from their
very much so.
environmental backgrounds to their genetics, and all that plays into a factor, especially when you're working with a client. You have to design a plan based on them. It's not going to work for somebody else.
Oh, no, it's not the same program for everyone else. And the thing is, everyone's got shit going on for them. It's just they don't always want to talk about it. Like my own personal journey, I came from a place of anxiety. I was under a lot of pressure going back about 5 years, just running various fitness classes everywhere. I was in a relationship that wasn't working. I'd just become a father. My sleep patterns were all over the place. Got hit by shingles 3 times. And then it was when the doctor said to me that they were going to prescribe me some anti-anxiety medication. I thought, I can't go down that route. And I thought, I'm going to go down the route of what I know, which is the lifting of the weights, just gradually building it up, and then introducing like breath work and meditation into things. And over time, like I'd gone from losing a load of weight and just been a right mess to building myself back. And it reached a point and I thought, right, I've done that for me. I'm very sure that there are other people around the world who are having other experiences, not necessarily anxiety, but other things, who would actually really benefit from learning what I've learned. So I thought, right, I'll put it out there. And here I am 5 years later with Resilient Lifestyle, because that was the big thing. Through journaling as well, I learned that I was having to be resilient, and that's how it came to be. That name. Just like every day you're going to face challenges, but you've got to be resilient. You've got to keep going with it. Not let people keep knocking you down. So just moving forward no matter what, and knowing that there are ways around things and there are ways to move forward.
A lot of people kind of see when a problem arises, they kind of tend to set their lifestyle up to either ignore it or push it away from them and try and find ways to go around the problem rather than look at it and take it head on. That's a very big problem, because all you're doing is pushing the roadblock. You're pushing that time to hit another problem when another problem will arise. You know, if you say, I'll wait to get my car fixed, I'll wait to do this, I'll wait to go to the doctors. Next thing you know, you're really, really sick and you need to go to the doctor, and you have a couple other problems going on.
Yeah, well, that's it. It's I can relate that to a guy that I work with who's in New Hampshire. He's a manager of Dunkin' Donuts, and basically his lifestyle was this: he was overweight. I think, God, can't remember how much he weighed now, but he was. In English money, he lost 7.5 stone, which I think was about 120 pounds or something like that. That might not be the exact conversion, but basically he was really, really overweight. And just recently he lost the weight through the training, but because he'd abused his body so much, it ended up that he had to have a quadruple bypass on his heart, and his diabetes had been really, really bad, and he had to have a foot operation and bones removed and stuff. But now he's had all this done and he's been recovering, and he's actually chosen to do something about this and committing to doing it regularly and stay consistent with it. Like, that's the thing. I find a lot of people, they'll start up a regime, whatever it might be, fitness, or it might be again a nutritional thing, just something real simple, but they'll go so long and then they won't stay consistent with it. But that's the only way that you get the rewards. Like this guy now, he's just come off all his diabetes medication, and he's just getting back to his fitness, and is on the way to leading an absolutely amazing lifestyle now. Like he's 48 years old, but now that he's taken action with things and following the pathway, as I said, is moving forward. But yeah, if anyone listening to this is in a place where you're thinking there's nothing you can do, I'm going to ignore this thing. The more you keep ignoring it, the worse the pain's going to get. Really,
I think a lot of
you
people
got to
are
collide.
really exposed to getting things handed to them.
Yeah.
I'm really against that. It's just because there's no, you don't want to be reliant on somebody else, because people are known to be unreliable. You want to keep your faith in something you know that's going to work. You always want to have a plan. It's difficult doing a lot of things in life, but life's not meant to be easy. It's meant to be hard, but you're meant to persevere past its difficulties and try and look above it. But sadly it's becoming so overwhelming and intense that a lot of people can't see past it. They can't see that this problem is only going to last a short while and it'll move on. They just see it's in my face. I don't know. It's never going to go away. And that's not true.
I feel there's very much an instant culture at the moment. Like, it's so easy for people to get things quickly, whether they click it on their phone or whether they do online shopping and stuff. It's like instant gratification. And it's just like, I feel because people want things to happen instantly, they sometimes forget the pleasure that can come in a longer lasting journey and all the things that come with that may be removed from the digital world. Or but yeah, it's worrying now that, again, as I said, there's that instant side. People have got increased pressure, and it doesn't do our health any good.
Yeah, well, life's intense. I think a lot of people need to realize that, and they set themselves up to never deal with a problem. And then when one does show up, they don't know how to cope. They start freaking out. They need help. But nowadays, it seems like everybody needs to ride or get a piggyback onto something. They want things handed to them. Yeah. I'm a big proprietor of getting stuff done yourself, mostly because if you're asking for help, you're basically admitting that you can't do it yourself. And for me, that was always a problem, because I realized if I couldn't do it, then I have to find a way I can manage it. I have to keep trying until I can do it. I have to kind of build past that roadblock. And that's what keeps persistence going. I mean, it's not easy every single day going to the gym. No. Sometimes it's not even fun. Sometimes I show up and I'm like, I don't want to fucking be here. But I push myself because I realize like why I started in the first place, and knowing that even after whatever, working out for 2 hours or something, that ride home, it's amazing. I feel so good. I feel so relaxed. It's like the whole stress, all the work from the day, it's just gone.
Yeah, it's true. And it can be through simple things. Like, one thing I do quite regularly, like I mentioned, these dragon lifts. It's where you have a dumbbell in each hand. Like, this is something like, again, in the fitness method that I deliver to people. It's actually been around for the last 40 years. There's a guy called Dragan Radovic that created it, and his son Rajko Radovic leads it. They were on a program called Rajko was on Last One Standing, that I think was on CBS, and basically through this training method, he did like hundreds of these lifts with 10% or 15% of his body weight. But the other thing he did was this fitness class called Hour of Power, which is great for calming people down, because it and again getting people focused, and because you take the breathing of yoga, the core work of Pilates, you throw in some weights resistant, some weights resistance, and I'm only talking anywhere between. Let me see, like, again, in English money, we're looking at like 1 kilogram to 6 kilogram. I think that equates anywhere between £4 and £12 in the States. But it really takes the body on a journey, and it was by doing this form of training that, by investing just a small amount of time, the results were absolutely huge. And like, he went and won this competition that was on TV. And this is why I've been in this for the last 20 years, because it works, and it's not a case of having to do anything to like do your training and be thinking, oh my gosh, I really don't look forward to it. I'm at the point where with this training each time, it's like I can't wait until it's my next session, because it just takes me on a different plane, a different journey, and it is a bit spiritual. There's a physical element to it too. So
I see this happen every single time. 2 weeks after New Year's Day, people make their resolution, get into the gym. And then 2 weeks before summer, everyone crams into the gym trying to get it in as fast as possible. They're going to get immediate results. It does not happen like that.
No, it's not the reality.
Progress. It's very, very difficult for a lot of people to get that through their head. Mostly when it comes to, I think a lot of people don't understand kind of the concept. Like, okay, I tell people, like, I'm a pro fitness guy for sure. We all got our, you probably a fitness guy too. And just as much, we both understand that mental comes into it as well. I mean, at one point I was working out and I was reading a book while I was like doing push-ups. Like, it was just something I wanted to train my brain as well, because I'm already spending so many time in the gym. But it was like, I understand why people love the physical, because physical is more, I guess, immediate of a result. You get a different feeling. It's very, very hard for you to get what they call a runner's high from reading a book. It's I don't know if you know too much about what a runner's high is, but like you do a freaking hard ass cardio session, just run like 10 miles or something. Afterwards, you feel like you could outrun a cheetah. You could take on the world.
Yeah, very much so. Like, again, in the hour power workout that I delivered, there's this part. Like, I kind of think of it as like climbing a mountain. Like, we'll start off. We've done 8 minutes of continuous bicep curls, and then we're moving to the shoulder press, which is one of the hardest exercises in it. And it reaches a point. There's a peak in the music as well, and then when the beat just drops, that's the point where you're like, wow, it's something euphoric about it. Like, I've done distance running before, but there's just certain points and you're like, God, I'm almost having a out of body experience here as I'm pushing these weights, and I just feel everything's screaming at me and everything's gone on a higher level, but it somehow feels really, really good. And it's just, it's great when you can take yourself to that place. And yeah, it's brilliant. But kind of touching on what you said before, about like the beach body rush and the Christmas rush. The general thing that I like to put out to say to people is that 12 weeks is a starting point. And that's when you'll notice things happening. But you've got to get through that point initially, and then that's when your body will be changing, your mind you'll be ready to feel that high.
I think a lot of people need to pay attention that there is a price that needs to be paid, and you will get results from it. But those results are not like paying for something at a grocery store. You can't just grab something, buy it, and the next thing you know, you have it. No, it's something you keep putting into like a piggy bank, and then one day cash it in, and bam, you got your results. It's I tell people it's about 2 months, 3 months before you start seeing results in your physical change from going to the gym. Then it's about 4 or 5 months till your family sees it. Then it's about 8 months until everyone around you notices it. That's not about losing weight. That can happen pretty actually on a pretty steady, quick level if you're doing extensive training for it. But when it comes to weightlifting and building up muscle, it's not an easy one. They always chalk up on every fitness page, any nutrition page that you read. It's all about it's a roller coaster. You have your good days, your bad days. You have your side. You go side to side. It goes up and down all over the chart, and you got to keep that in mind, because it does play a toll on you, especially someone like me, a big proprietor of fitness. I have my days I'm looking in the mirror, I'm like, damn, I need to hit this a little bit harder, I need to hit that a little bit harder, I'm lacking there or something. Constantly judging, because we live in a constantly judging world. Nobody, at least when you walk out on the street, there's always that quick thought, like, why does that person look like that? You're always constantly, everyone is. If you don't admit to it, then you're just totally glossing over it. But we all have those slight things. And that's not our fault as people. That's our fault as a society. We're based on looks nowadays. You know, a lot of people, it's really, really hard to kind of see past what someone's wearing, what someone has. It's all about judging one another. And I'm trying to bring it to a point where we can stop doing that. Because I started realizing in myself, like, that's a thing I was doing. And I was like, it's not right. It's not going to create a good environment for people to want to associate with others anymore.
Yeah, it's very true. It's so easy to compare yourself to others and wanting to be like somebody else, when actually I've found if you focus on yourself and building yourself, you'll reach a point where people will actually turn around and say, right, hey, Robbie, hey, Graham, hey, whoever, I'm actually really impressed that you've got to be like this. How have you done it? And people begin to look up to you. So there's not necessarily, like, I kind of think within, you can find everything that you require and want within yourself. And it's about taking action. And it can just be simple little steps every day. And but yeah, you can find that, I suppose, possibility to become something more within yourself. It's just actually thinking, right, okay, what have I got going on for me now? What am I maybe grateful for in this moment now? Like, one thing I do every morning is I'll get my journal and I'll write down 5 or 6 things I'm grateful for. And I just find it starts the day positively. And I think if people do more of that, like showing more gratitude for what they've got, but also realizing that, yeah, each day that they can step towards becoming more, but understanding again, it's a slow burn. It's a journey, really, and things don't happen overnight.
It's a crawl to success. You know, it's not something, like we keep saying, it's not something that's going to happen immediately, but not even with the physical aspect. When I started diving into more of mental aspect of things was when I decided to read a little bit more of literature through school. And I was like, whoa, like this feeling I'm getting from a good book or something I'm interested in, or watching a movie, you know, it's an amazing feeling. It gives you that same rush, but also experiencing the world as well. If you take that book outside and just sit on your porch and hear the breeze, the birds chirping, all these factors you totally gloss over when you walk out of the house in the morning. A lot of people just don't even take it, I guess, the second before they get into their car to really smell the air, or at least get like the feeling of the breeze on their face.
Yeah, I feel it's very much about getting back to connecting with the self again, whether that's actually taking yourself outside and maybe doing a midday 15 or 20-minute walk, or even something which I've done before. I've taken my dumbbells outside and I've maybe just done some squats outside to start with, and then done my 100 lifts. Again, those 100 done in one set, and just found a place where I'm comfortable, and just it changes the experience. So it's not just you're in four walls. It's it lets you experience being outside, and that can change the way you feel. It can lift such as depression that we talked about at the very beginning, and anything like that. But yeah, just reconnecting. And I think there's a lot of people that are living in that world of disconnect still. They're in their phones and so on, which I know we do need, and they do have the benefits. But it's the whole sort of thing. What I kind of like challenge and ask people to do is like maybe try initially just for a week when it comes to an evening. You're there with your kids, you're there with your loved one. Put your phone down and just have the time together. Maybe even turn the TV off and actually have a conversation, and just spend a bit more time together. Turn it into a date night, and actually just make it more of an evening. We don't have to be having our heads in screens and all this sort of thing all the time. Just communicate a lot more. Because I know for me as well, because I was talking to my fiance about this, that's kind of the foundation of our relationship. That we communicate, And it's not always easy, but we'll always talk things through. But I think communication and connection is a big thing that people struggle with nowadays.
Well, I talk about technology being fake connectivity because it's giving you a fake kind of response to what people, I guess, what we would call connectivity. Like having a conversation with your parents, having a conversation with a loved one, having a conversation with a friend is different when you're talking about your emotional problems than just posting it on social media and getting a bunch of likes. Those likes are not people that are actually caring about you. They're not actually paying attention to you. They're not really involved into your life, but you get the same kind of fake stimulus. Then that like keeps increasing. You're going to need, instead, next time on your complaining post, you're going to need 5 likes, 6 likes, 7 likes, and it keeps on going up and up and up. And then when you don't hit that one post or whatever that you got 10 likes on, instead you only got 4 likes on it, you delete it because you're like, oh, I guess I don't matter to the world anymore. It's because you keep increasing the barrier when you rely on fake connectivity. That's why you need to sit down with a loved one and talk to them sometimes, or at least sit down with a friend, because they actually truly care about you. It might just be one person, but they matter more.
Well, that's it. I was talking to my 5-year-old this weekend, and we're just saying he was saying something he was doing was good, and I just said to him, "Why can't it be great? So why can't one live in a world of great? Everything we do, let's try and be great, because it's great's almost better than good." And he seemed to pick that language up, and the next day he just came out randomly with, "Daddy, we live in a world of great," and he was so proud that he said it, and it was just a really happy moment to share there. And that's it. Like, I think in conversation, like asking people how they are and stuff like that, 90% of the time they'll go fine or good, when, to be honest with you, inside they might be absolutely seething about something. I just wonder how many people would be a bit more honest about that, the feeling, how that would maybe change the dynamic of conversation and so on. Or if people are feeling, I suppose, okay, whether they consider something to move them towards feeling greater, what changes can they make?
A lot of, like, does it kind of scare you that your son's kind of like at a young age, but he's being exposed to a lot more than what you were being exposed to as a kid?
Yes, big time. It's I think kids nowadays, it's so easy for them to access things on social media. They get taught at school how to use iPads, and they know all about YouTube, and they're like streets ahead, and it's it is concerning, and it's just, but it's just like, is it a good thing? It's a hard one, really, because again, I can see the benefits of the technology. It's just making sure that the kids are protected, and that they're not letting society take over, so that everything becomes like that fake world, and they're not communicating with kids as much. Because the thing is, I'll never forget, going back a few years, I saw 3 school kids just coming home from school, walking down the street, all of them, their heads in their phones, and none of them talking to each other. And I was thinking, right, are they actually just texting each other whilst they're walking in front of one another? Because I've heard about people text each other across the living room before now. But it's just like, I don't want my kids to end up like that. I want them to be fully around people that have conversations, that actually do stuff, that do things physically, that do things on the spiritual side, that actually get involved with people.
Yeah, I think a lot of people need to engage a lot more, not only in like just kind of the meditation side of things too. Like doing yoga, I can see where a lot of people would get that as a sense of relief, because it's, when we talk about a connection with oneself, it's also connection with the world around us too. You need to kind of be more, I guess, I don't know how to say that right. I guess more in the moment of things that are happening around you as well. You know, taking the time to enjoy nature. This is why camping is a big popular thing for a lot of nature folk. It's about coming to connection with oneself and realizing, like, yeah, the world gets a really shitty view on TV, but that's not always what it is. It's usually there's something you can do, like go out and have a bonfire in your backyard or something that can really just bring a sense of wholeness. I mean, every time I walk out of my house, I swear there's a neighbor cooking up barbecue or doing something on a campfire, and he just relaxes. I mean, all hours of the night, just sitting out in a lawn chair and just bonfire, just staring at it the whole time. I don't know what he's thinking about. He seems like deep contemplation, but I realize he's happy. You know, he's got a sense of peace with him. He doesn't have to deal with any stress, and that's just something he can do when he comes home after a long day.
I see it very much about as learning to be present and considering what you feel. So again, whether you're outside or even indoors as well, like when I'm lifting my weights, I know I'm in that moment. I'm kind of engaged with the whole of my body. That's a form of meditation for me. Every time I choose to go out on a like intentional walk, and I'm just observing everything around me. Like for instance, I know when I go down the canal here, there's these ferocious swans down there, and just that moment where you feel them getting closer and you feel your adrenaline going. It's like, yeah, God, I actually feel alive. I've had that rain against my face, so I felt that sweat from a lifting. I think it's about people, becoming present, being aware of what they feel, and just being in the moment, because it's like, right, you're here now. Okay, what are you feeling now? What's great now? What things can you be grateful for? What am I feeling in myself? And if it's not a great thing I'm feeling, how can I maybe change that?
Do you ever kind of look at things in your own life now? Like, I mean, you live this resistant lifestyle, but do you ever see stuff you kind of can't come across?
What do you mean I can't come across?
Like you can't go past. Like have you ever had a roadblock like right now that you still been dealing with that you can't beat?
Yeah. Like there's again on the physical side, there's I'm at a point where I'll pick up 42-pound dumbbells, and like this is a physical challenge that I'm trying to get past. To do the dragon lift with them 100 times once a week consistently, or go past 100 repetitions. I just reach a point where it just burns me out, and I'm like, get really fucked off with it. It's like, I've been doing this for years and I can't get past it. But also from another perspective, I've had some stuff going on personally. I won't go into details, but a divorce that was very difficult. And for a couple of years, I kept getting roadblocks with that, but I just thought, right, keep going through with it. But I must admit, generally speaking, I'm at a happy point in my life. As I said, I'm getting married in a couple of weeks. Both my kids are healthy, my 11-week-old baby and my 5-year-old son. All my family are well. Business is challenging. Okay, business is growing, but
well, life is challenging. Life has its things. I think anybody that's a personal trainer, resilience coach, anybody that thinks their life is perfect, they're not right, and they're not being admitted to themselves. My life's not perfect at all, but I know what I have to be doing, and I'm trying my hardest to make sure that every step I take isn't towards of that mission or goal that's in my head to overcome whatever I need to overcome. It's not an easy journey for anybody. Anybody where you see they look like their life is perfect probably has some of the most problems. It's hard to kind of look past that, especially with social media. So many people are just putting up pictures of what they have, because who honestly wants to put up pictures of what they don't?
Yeah, very true. Because I suppose that brings people back to a place of lack, and everything would be really negative if they were putting about what they don't have. But I kind of think that we all want to move forward. Everybody does. I think there's set ourselves targets, because they're things that you're trying to pinpoint towards. And I think even in the language you use, I never talk about setting goals, because to me, a goal is something that you can miss. I don't know why I always picture this guy kicking a football and he's taken a penalty and he's missed it. But it's or soccer, as you guys might say. But it's just like, if it's a target, I just think, right, this is a laser target thing. I don't know quite when I'm going to hit it, but my laser's pointing at it, and I'm going to hit it at some point. And you've got to keep laser focused on where you want to go, even though the journey won't be perfect. It'll be all over the place.
I think a lot of
you've
people,
got to keep going.
With goal setting, I think goal setting's not a problem. It's the way we do it. We set goals that are unrealistic or unobtainable, such as I'm going to lose 50 pounds in a month. Okay. You having surgery to get rid of that 50 pounds? I don't know where that's going. It's not going to happen through just like a diet or something. I don't expect that to happen. But I think a lot of people need to understand there is a good way to set goals is to be obtainable, but also make it challenging. Make it something you actually have to put in effort to kind of accomplish, not something that, my goal today is to get up out of bed and go to the bathroom. That's my goal. That's so easy. That shouldn't even be a goal. That's what but the problem is they either go to that example or they go to one like, I'm going to go out today and I'm going to make $1 million. Unobtainable. That is unrealistic that you're going to, unless you're some Elon Musk or some character that already has something going for them, then okay. But for the average person, you need to set something that is obtainable. Go to the store, get your groceries. Go to the store, buy a book, read the book, do something. Those are all obtainable things. They might be challenging. It's going to take some time, but I believe that's in proper goal setting. It's something that's going to take time.
Yeah, like it's a thing of people living in fantasy and reality, and people can have them crazy ideas, but they just don't think about all the work involved to get there. Like you see people with $1 million lifestyles, but they've worked damned hard to get there, and it's oftentimes taken a number of years to do so. But the thing is, you've got to break it into small steps. Whether it's right, I'm going to get up and do a 10-minute walk or a 10-minute stretch. I'm going to get up and drink a pint of water every day, or I'm going to communicate with a family member. But again, it's just got to be it's got to be small steps. You've got to have some kind of framework. But it's the whole thing. If you are going to take those steps, to not overwhelm yourself with like a massive to-do list of things. Like I literally set myself, say, 4 business targets to complete during the week. And then I have my daily habits, and they're like 8 different things. Like when I started those 8 different things, I was only doing 3 or 4 because I wasn't in a place where to complete all 8 was a routine for me. It's just like, right, I'm going to start with like half the amount at the moment and just build it up from there. Like one thing now, again, I think is a little target, even with the meditation. I'll aim to hit 2 20-minute meditations a day. At the moment, I'm on, say, 10 minutes in the morning and 20 minutes in the middle of the day. And it's finding the balance. I think that's the big thing that people experience a lot of imbalance nowadays.
I think a lot of people need to find something to find that balance. What would you say would it be?
To me, it would be just looking at the routines that they've got going on. And I think I'd say more a case of asking themselves, are they spending time with the family, or what's the balance, say, family time against work? Are they working all hours and not seeing the kids? Where can they make adjustments? And again, it's different for different people, but I think it's just look at your routines, look at where you may be you're not placing the deposits in that piggy bank as much as you want to be doing in your life, and what little adjustments can you make to put a bigger deposit in there?
I mean, I can't agree with you more. It's all about kind of the long haul. Cause I mean, we're all in it for what seems like to be the long haul. So I feel like a lot of people need to plan their life out and expect things to be coming down the road, not expecting it to be so immediate, because we have a problem with wanting things to be right now, right here. And if it doesn't work, we give up on it. No, just stick with it. And eventually you will see results.
Because that's it. There's something I was reading the other day, and two key words that stick with me are sustainability. So things that you can sustain and stay consistent with, but also legacy. What are you going to leave at the end of it? So it's going to happen. We're all going to die one day. We're not going to be on this planet forever. But what we're going to leave behind for the rest of our family? Like, I know all my journals, I'm passing them down to my son, so he can see my journey through life. He can actually read and experience my thoughts. And of course, there'll be all the other things with that I will have built by placing daily deposits and taking action on things. Whether it's as simple as a box full of appreciation messages. But yeah, it's got to be simple, consistent, and sustainable, but not overwhelming.
Yeah, man. I mean, I couldn't agree with you more. And Graham, I appreciate you coming out and doing the podcast, man. It's been awesome talking to you.
Yeah, it's been great. It's been fantastic to talk about everything and anything. And yeah, it's been an awesome experience.
I want to give you a minute here to kind of promote your site and everything so people can find your awesome content.
Yeah, thank you. If you go onto Facebook, you type in the Resilient Lifestyle Community, you'll see a load of videos and content there for how I've worked with clients, and again, covering lots of topics, how people move forward. You can find me on LinkedIn, Graham Wheatcroft. That's GRAHAM WHEATCROFT. And I am on Instagram as well as The Resilient Lifestyle. Again, it'd be great to hook up with anyone if anyone's any more questions about anything I've said or want to learn more. It'd be great to hook up with you. And I work with people internationally, a couple of clients in the States, besides people here in the UK as well.